where you're watching us from. This is Changing the Narrative, and I'm your host, Efram Ponsa. We're back on your screen today. Should I say, talking about or about to discuss? Um, pardon me, I've got a cold, so pardon my voice. About to discuss the Ireland Fellows Program for Africa or Africans. And I have with me Marcus Johnson, who is actually a beneficiary. So he's gone through the whole process and he's here today to talk about it, how he got it, and share some few tips and tips with us on how to go about it. Share his journey as well as we have this conversation. Could be dropping your questions in the comment section so that he will answer it, and then you can also connect with him if you have any further questions after this, because it's only an hour, so which means we might not be able to answer all your questions. However, we'll be here, or you can get in touch or via connection, so that he will be able to answer all your extra questions. So thank you very much, Marcus, for joining us. And also, it was a last minute request, but yes, thank you so much for making it possible for us to have this conversation today. So, without wasting much more time, kindly tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so well, I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes,
So
I can.
I'm Marcus Winston Johnson. So first of all, I should say I'm excited to be here, and I'm not only excited, but I'm passionate about this whole process. And then I want to give if you have a flower while she's alive, that's what we normally say, right? You know, the way she goes about these things. This is this is a whole lot to put together. Get people, get professionals, get experienced people to come on the show and then share their life experiences, their failures, their success with you. And I just want to say thank you to her before I begin. And she's doing a very great job. And if nobody tells her, I want to use this public medium to say, hey, keep doing what you're doing,
Thank you.
inspiring the young people out there, and history is going to remember you. So without much ado, um, I like to think of myself more a Ghanaian than a Liberian because I'm from both worlds. Okay, so my
Okay.
dad, I happen to be Liberian by parents. Both parents
Mm,
are Liberians, but I was born in Ghana. I was raised in Ghana. I went to school in Ghana. I did everything in Ghana. Okay, so we recently relocated, went to Liberia, and then I spent some couple of time there, and then before I left. So
mm.
that's my journey. I went to Chimusek, Chimu. I was in Chimu Secondary School.
Okay.
Yeah, in Tema. Yeah, I did pure science. I'm a science freak, and then yeah, and then I kind of like went to NIT in Ghana, NIT Tema. Yeah, and that's where I did my first diploma in computer engineering, and then I mean, things weren't going too well. I decided to see home. At the time, I had never gone back to Liberia, so I decided to visit. And then it was interesting. I found it very interesting. I got a job.
Mm.
I started to work. I started to go back to uni in Liberia, and then I completed uni there, and then I got this scholarship. So by profession, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. I specialized in threat intelligence and
Okay.
adversary emulations, purple teaming. I do a lot of it's a new version of what they call penetration testing now. The cyber world has evolved. We used to call
Mm-hmm.
it. testing. But then there are new techniques. So, adversaries have come up with different tricks and styles. So we've come up with a new way of dealing with them. So we call that adversary engineering. So it's a very interesting field. Threat intelligence is also the way to go now, with a lot of AI involved. So yeah, basically that's who I am by background, by profession. I'm into teaching. I used to teach a lot. I used to get this part-time contracts when I was back home. Do boot camps. I'm more of less I'm a hands-on guy. I
Mm.
like. The kind of technical guy. I don't just like to talk. I like to get my hands dirty. So I had 3 units I used to teach. I used to teach STARS. There's this university in Liberia called STARS University. I used to do some part-time with the NIIT myself. Yeah, and yeah, basically that's what I am. Yeah, I'm just passionate about technology. Yeah.
That's great to know. No, cybersecurity is very hands-on.
Uh,
There's a lot.
a lot, a lot.
Yeah, but it's interesting though. I know people that are into it. I think we've had this conversation, and as interesting as it is, I'll leave it to the smart heads to
I
do
know,
it
right?
and feel safe on online. So yeah, that's great. And I did not know your Ghana. Well, you lived in Ghana. I know about your Liberia side from
Oh yeah,
the last time you were on our audio event with Dr. Enoch, but I didn't know
yeah,
you had a Ghana side as well. That's
yeah,
good to know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank.
I
Mhm.
consider myself more Ghanaian than Liberian. That's the thing.
That's good. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. You're welcome to Ghana.
Oh,
Yeah, so thank you all to our listeners, our viewers. If you're watching from YouTube and on LinkedIn, thank you very much for joining us. So if you've got any questions, kindly put it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to read all the comments and the questions for Marcus to answer. And also, like I said, if you're just joining us, if there's any question that I'm not able to read, or if there's not enough time for Marcus to answer everything, kindly connect with, I would say with him, because I only know what I know from what I've read on the website when I shared the opportunity. But he has been through the process, so he would know more than I would. But if it's to do with SOPs and the essays, I can help with proofreading, give you suggestions or feedback. But if it is specifically with the process, our guest Marcus is your guy. So do well to connect with him. Do not let this opportunity pass by. So the reason why I shared this particular opportunity, I do come across a lot of opportunity, but I don't always share it because some of it is some of them are okay, but this one looked really good. Reason being, it's fully funded, and I mean, it covers most of the things that becomes a burden financially to applicants or international students. So when I saw this one, and the fact that it's specifically for Africans as well, I thought, oh, this is really good. Hence why I shared it. And here we are. Didn't know my connection Marcus actually is a recipient or a beneficiary. So without wasting much more time, Marcus,
yeah.
how did you hear about this opportunity? Tell us
Okay.
that, and then yeah,
Okay. So
answer that before I go to my next one.
all right. So I remember 2022. I was um, I was I was working with the judiciary of the Republic of Liberia, and then I was quite bored. Every morning I get up, go to work, and then like it's just the same old thing with government institutions. So I needed a challenge because I had already built an entire infrastructure in terms of technology wise, and like I felt like I didn't have anything else to do every morning. Get up, go to work. I needed a challenge, so I started
Mm,
to search on the internet for scholarships. But I was specifically interested in fully funded because I've had this. A lot of people have said to me, "Hey, they aren't fully funded out there. I mean, they are all scams. These are all scams. They just get people to just, at the end of the day, they just scam you. Like, I wanted to know it for myself, so I decided to venture out there. And when I found this Irish aid, interestingly, um, somebody from my institution had attempted,
Mm.
and during his interview, he told the panelist that he noticed that there hasn't been much opportunities for people in that sector, most especially the judiciary. He realized that it's not very popular, it's not public, and a lot of people don't know about the process. So
Mm.
if they could do more, publication. They could do more, publicizing, so that a lot of people could get to know about it, because it's a great opportunity. It's like the panel took his recommendations and took it very serious. So what they did was they started to send they started to send emails to all government institutions. So that was how it started. I don't know about
Okay.
Ghana specifically. That's how it started in Liberia. So all public institutions started to get invite. So the embassy, the Irish embassy in Liberia, started to send invitations to head of public institutions, uh, inviting them over if they were interested in their staff getting going through the scholarship and benefiting from it. But then what we noticed was it wasn't the regular kind of scholarship we were used to, because there's this bilateral scholarship from China, where the process is a little bit laxed. It's a little bit laxed, and a lot of Africans back home, like specifically with the Chinese aid, there's not much too much restrictions, and it's not very competitive. You can
Mm.
just I mean, you can just find your way around it. Not to say it's not good, but I wasn't really interested in the Chinese scholarship. So I've
Okay.
always like I was very challenging. So I saw it online, and then a day or two later, I also saw a poster, like a flyer in my building, in my institution. Like, oh, this is what I just saw online. It's here. And I decided to go through it. And I'm like, oh, this is real. If this is here, same thing there, it means this is real. So I decided to give it a try. So I read. The first thing I did was to read, to download
Mm.
there's this thing called the guidance manual. You see, the scholarship is so organized that it gave you an entire guidance manual. The guidance manual gives you every step,
I
every
think I've
step of
I've downloaded
what.
it actually.
Yes, there is. If you follow the guide, it's absolutely impossible to not be able to get through. Yeah, that is what I can tell you. And
Mm.
what I love about the scholarship is when they tell you fully funded, they mean it. That's
Mm.
what I can. If they tell you fully funded, they really mean it. I have benefited from it, and I'm still benefiting from it. And for the most part, what I really enjoyed was the various stages. So the first stage, the first stage is you have to meet certain basic requirements. So let
Mm.
me talk to folks out there. The basic requirement is first, you for I think it differs from African country to African country. I can be specific with Ghana, but I'm specific with Liberia because this,
Liberia.
yeah, it covered my scholarship covered Liberia. So let's go through the Liberia's requirements. So for Liberia, you had to come from a public institution. That's the first requirement. You had to be part of a public institution, or
Mm.
an NGO, or a CSO. So you're either from a public institution, an NGO, or a CSO. So it means, even if you are part of an NGO that is not on the list, because the institutions are listed. If you are part of
Okay.
an NGO, not on the list, but your NGO or your CSO is 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 a subsidiary of an NGO that's on the list, you could go with that too. You could go with that. So you work for an institution that is not on the list, but then you work for a bigger institution. You are under a bigger institution that's on the list. You could go through them.
Right.
That is, yeah, that could work. So, and then That's the first requirement. And then the second is you have to meet your grade point average, which is most fully funded scholarship. You're not going to escape that. You can't escape grade point average. You have to get
Hmm.
a three. You have to get a 3 point. There is nothing less than that. You can't get anything less than that.
Sorry,
So
let me cut you there. So for those that are listening, that is like your second class upper. So your two ones. That's what he that's what he means. Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
carry on.
yeah. So you can't get anything less than that. I mean, come to think of it, this is fully funded. I mean, every expense is going to be paid for you. It's just fair enough. I don't like to put it the way I'm putting it, but it's just fair enough.
I think I know what you're gonna try and
Yeah,
say.
that's,
So
yeah,
it's only fair that you also do your
yeah,
part by getting a
exactly,
good grade.
exactly. It's just fair enough. You bring something to the table. So
Mm.
yeah. Then after you meet the grade point requirement, then this I like to add. You, obviously you should have a degree, and your degree should not be older than 10 years. It should be from 2010 later.
Mm.
Anything earlier than 2010 won't be accepted. So if you got your degree within 20 from 2010 up to now, yes, you meet the requirement. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah. So it's as I'm saying again, it may be different with Ghana. I don't know, but yeah, though these are the
Yeah,
general requirements.
I'll get on the link and then
Yeah,
set and send certain like specific links into.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then we have what again? We have um, we have 3 stages of the process. The process goes into 3 stages, and this is the interesting part of the whole process. I don't know, but I got frustrated along the line. Those people, if you've ever looked for a scholarship before, and you've gotten frustrated, I mean, it just tells you that you are doing,
The right thing.
you really want something good for yourself. Any scholarship that you go after that you don't have a little bit of a, you know, frustration, struggle, fear, it means you are in the wrong place. So with the 3 stage process, the first stage is you submit the initial. There's an initial form that you have to fill. It's just basically telling them that you meet the requirements. You meet the grade point requirements. You meet the leadership requirements. You can write well. You can speak well. I mean, all those things you put it there. At that stage, at that stage, those information are not checked. So if you told them you have a 3 point, fine. If you told them you don't have a master's degree, because one of the requirements is you should not already have a master's degree, because I mean, come to think about it, it's an opportunity for those who don't have master's degree. So if you
Yeah.
already have a master's degree, there's no need, you cannot partake, right?
Hmm.
So you cannot be part of it, you cannot benefit from it. So yeah, that's one of the things you need to keep at the back of your mind. So then after that first stage, the second stage is where the rigorness begins. So at that stage, now you have to verify all the information you sent through stage one. Stage two, now you have to give them detail of what you truly are or what you truly represent. What is your aspiration in terms of leadership? What is your passion? What moves you? What is it that you think you can do that can change the world? Those are the leadership qualities they're looking for, and you have to put all that into writing. And for our part, during our time, the interesting thing was they gave us only 150 words. You have to express yourself within 150 words. I mean, this new batch, they have up to 250 words. Imagine, we had just 150. Every stage has word limit. So one of the things I'll encourage you to do is, instructions are the number one thing you must follow. Instructions. Follow every single word, letter, instruction to the core. Don't leave anything out. If they tell you 150, if they tell you 250, don't go one letter, don't even move a letter difference. You get disqualified. Do I repeat that? Hello? 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 If you are you there? Hello? I can't hear you if you are you there. Oh. Hello? Okay. I hope the I hope the rest of the audience can hear me. I think Afia is having a low issue with the laptop. So let me just continue. Yeah. So if you can hear me, could you just send in the text? Let me know you guys are listening. You guys are hearing me, so that I don't. It's not like I'm talking to myself. Yeah. Yeah. If you can hear me, just give a thumbs up. Yeah. If you can hear me, okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So again, as I was saying, the um the instructions are very key and cardinal to the process. The instructions are, in fact, I don't know how to to emphasize this. The instructions are as important as gaining the scholarship. So I would advise everyone, please, the first thing you want to do is take the guidance manual, read through it end to end before you begin the process. The guidance manual is very key to the process. It gives you everything that you need to know and need to do. That's your key. Okay. So after we've done with the after you've expressed yourself, and after you've expressed yourself in your essays, and you feel and you align, you have to align your essays with the the sustainable development goals, because those are some of the questions they're going to ask you. How does your goal align with any one of the SDGs? So you have to do a little bit of research, know what the SDGs stand for, know what each number stands for, and how does it apply to your area of study. And then how do you translate that into how it relates to your profession. That's a lot of things. That's one thing people don't do. They just tell you, I want to pursue a master's degree. uh, I think it's going to help me. Yes, yes. How does it help you? How does it align with the goals of the SDGs? How does it impact Africa in general? How does it narrow down to your country specific? That's how you write, especially when it comes to doing the second stage essay. All right. And then from that stage, after you everything is good, you should be good. Once And then another tip I'm going to give you is, what stands you out from a lot of folks, a lot of people, because there's a million of you guys out there applying for the scholarship. What's going to set you apart is your ability to demonstrate that you have leadership ability, leadership skills. So what are some of those things you can do? You those community activities, those freelance activities, if you were, I mean, if you are engaged in community activities like, lot of people do NGO stuff, engage in community engagement, youth engagement, social activism. All those things should be listed. Don't ignore any. Don't say any of those things are not important. Those are some of the key things that they are looking for. Those social, those extra academic activities. Those are what they want. Extra academic activities. Don't just dwell on your academic performance and how great you were in school and how good you are, as a professional. No, those extracurricular activities are what they are looking for, right? So those are tips I'm giving.
Yes, I'm with you now. Here we
Uh,
go.
I'm,
Sorry.
I'm so glad.
My laptop actually had a reset or a restart in the middle of this, so I had to join with my phone, but I think you still couldn't hear me.
Yeah,
Very sorry, guys,
all
but
right.
thank you for still carrying on. Yes, I'm here now.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, you're welcome back, Afia. So
Thank you.
I was just telling them about the some of the tips, some of the secrets. All right, like some of the secrets in the second stage process where you have to stress on your extracurricular activities. So, you there's a in the form they want to know outside of the classroom what
Mm-hmm.
what have you done? What can you what can you show to prove, or what can you prove to demonstrate your leadership abilities? So what they look for is those activism, those youth activities, those social activities that you get involved in that are very helpful and healthy for the community, for that is engaging, is what whether it's engaging leadership in the community, whether it's engaging leadership in the country, whether it's engaging youth, whether it's engaging any form of topic. Those are what they are interested in. So your secret is, don't just emphasize so much on your academic performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should also emphasize on your extracurricular activities. I'm stressing on this because you're going to get a lot of you who are going to stress on your academic activities. That is not what is going to get you through. The activities that are going to show demonstrate your leadership, because these extracurricular activities demonstrate leadership. I was into youth activism. I did this and that. For me, what got me through was what really stood me out was my ability to demonstrate that I was into a lot of extracurricular activities. I did a lot of teaching. I did a lot of youth empowerment. I did a lot of speeches.
Mm-hmm.
I was called upon by a lot of tech institutions back home to speak to the young people. And I was involved with a lot of female tech youth organizations where I'll go and encourage a lot of, because I realized along the line that a lot of females back home were shying away from technology, and they saw technology to be, a male dominated field. So I went in there and I was trying to break down the barrier. I'm trying to, like,
Wow.
this barrier that has been set so long by tradition that
Mm-hmm.
women are to be in a particular field. This is wrong. And I broke down those barriers, and I had a lot of young females very enthusiastic, very optimistic about the field. So those were areas I was able to stress, and those were things that I believed that caught their attention. I
Mm.
wouldn't say I was the smartest in the group. Let me just give you a gist of what happened during our selection process. The selection process went across the country. There were three. It went from 1,000 to 300.
Wow.
Are you guys there? It went from 1,000 to a 300. From
Mm.
down from a 300, we ended up only 10. Can you imagine?
That's very very impressive. That
Yes.
1,300. Then wow,
So coming down to just to
very
select just
competitive
10.
as well.
Yes,
Mm.
just 10. Only 10 of us made it. An entire country from across all the different sectors, to have just 10 people make it.
Mm.
It's not an easy task. Sometimes I like to be proud. I like to I like to carry myself with pride, but then
Of course, it's
I
a
want to,
lot.
it humbles me. It humbles me
Mm.
that God could have gotten me to this point. It wasn't by might, it wasn't by power. I could have done what I could have done, but then God had to intervene too. So that's how rigorous the process is. So imagine This imagine having this number of persons eagerly wanting the scholarship. So how? So you have to keep at the back of your mind. Keep asking yourself, what can I demonstrate that is
Mm.
going to set me apart from the rest of the guys? If you put this at the back of your mind, you are going to write a better essay. You are going to do a better presentation of presenting not just your academics, but you'll be able to present those extracurricular activities that's going to push you out there. So
Mm.
that's just for the second stage. Now the third stage is that's where the frustration comes in, and I'm and I want to I want to tell you, nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. But what I can
True.
assure you, the process is worth it. I cannot tell you all the good benefits, but I think even in fact the benefits are listed out there in the document, so you
Mm.
can read for yourself. And everything they say in there is true. Nothing there is false. If anybody should tell you what is in the document looks too good to be true, I am a testament. I am living on it and I'm benefiting from it. And I can tell you everything written there in black and white is true. So on the third stage, you have to do the English thing. I had a lot of people in my inbox. This English test, this English proficiency. That's the part it gets to. I'm sorry, that's the part it gets to. We all have to do the English test. It's unfortunate. We Most of us from the we like to call ourselves British colonies and all these
Mm.
different colonies. And there was one of my applications where I wrote to one of the British schools, and then I told them, why do we have to write English proficiency test? There's no need for that, because majority, or if not majority, all of our courses, our subjects are taught in English.
Good in
Why
English,
should
yeah.
English test is uncalled for? And there was a little back and forth here and there, but that has been my advocacy to that this English test for especially African countries that speak English and do everything in English. There, I mean, this should not be the case. But
Some
unfortunately,
universities are listening, and they actually they would allow you to not sit the IEL. I always miss those letters.
yes, yeah,
IELTS test.
I
So
not
yeah,
yet. Yeah, else,
yes,
just nothing
yeah.
else. Yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, so some universities are listening, and some scholarships are listening, but obviously it's still an ongoing
yeah,
would I
it's
say fight or advocacy for
yeah,
it to be
yeah,
accepted by
yeah.
majority of these other
It is.
universities out there, because it ends up adding to the cost and the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
funding and everything that
yeah,
people are already struggling with. But yeah,
yeah.
that's just by the way.
That's just what it is. I feel that's just
Mm.
what it is. So this advocacy, during my time, I picked up this advocacy, and I would encourage a lot of our people out there to also pick up this advocacy. But I just don't want it to be about just few countries. Like I saw people doing on LinkedIn. I
Mm.
saw a Nigerian girl just advocating for Nigeria alone, and I was very pissed. And this should be a holistic fight. You know,
Yeah.
there's no need for countries that do everything in English. Basically,
Mm.
our entire curriculum runs in English. Then we have to come and sit English test. For me, I feel it's demeaning. That's personal. I don't feel my English literacy should be tested. But that's just by the way. So um at the end of the day, you have to go through that. So for my time, this is what happened. I did Duolingo instead of else. Now this is the
Okay.
difference: Duolingo and else. Duolingo and else are the same, but Duolingo is more tailored towards the British the British the British side. Let
Standard
me put
English,
that.
yeah.
And then the else is more tailored toward American systems. So, but what during our time, because of I think it was they had just come from this COVID thing, and then they were just relaxing the rules. They said we should do Duolingo.
Okay.
Honestly, Duolingo was not something I was happy about. Duolingo is I thought it was going to be easy, but Duolingo was one of the craziest English tests I've ever written. Man, whoa, Duolingo, my goodness. But
Mm,
anyway, you will have to write. You will have to do an English proficiency test, folks.
mm.
No two ways about it. So you have to start to prepare. So what I did during my time was, as so let me tell you how this is going to work. The English proficiency test is going to be paid for you. That's how, when I say fully funded, I mean fully funded. All right.
That's good.
So all of you
That
who are worried, it's going to be
this
paid.
is this is good.
Yes. So the test is going to be paid for. They are going to send you the coupon, and you will have to write. You will have to do and all you will have to do is sit and pass and meet the requirement. That's all you will have to
Wow.
do. That's what I call fully funded. Yeah.
Mm,
So if you went if you did during the entire process, if you spend any amount of money, right? At the end of the day, you are going to be required to produce receipts of all your expenses, and all your expenses will be paid. I'm tell,
wow.
I'm take it from me.
Guys, this is good. You don't get a lot of opportunities like this out
You
there.
don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Yeah.
expense that you pay, that you make on your own, in terms of medicals, in terms of whatever, in terms of maybe notarizing, because you have to notarize most of your documents. All right, when you send in documents, you have to notarize them, through the courts. Most of those notarized documents you have to pay from your pocket. But hey, all costs made on your behalf, all costs made in the course of the scholarship, everything, just keep your receipts. All those receipts are going to be requested, and it's going to be paid for.
Mm.
Yes. So you
This
got
is
you.
juicy. This
Yeah.
is good.
This, this is good.
So the
This
reason why we're saying this is good is if you've been through the scholarship journey and you've come across a lot of these fully funded, this is one of the best ones out there.
I can
You
show
don't,
that.
yeah, you don't get your test. Your test is your own from your own pocket.
Yeah.
So this is good. Like when we
Yeah.
say it's good, we know where we're coming from. This is good.
Yeah. This is good. So when
Yeah.
I tell you, oh, this is really good. So that's why I keep stressing, fully funded. This is the actual word. This is the actual word for fully funded, right?
Yeah.
You get to get paid for you get to get reimbursement for everything you do. And even with the English test, they will organize classes for you. There will be an online class you have to attend. They will have an English instructor who's going to go through the curriculum, the IELTS curriculum with you. And there's going to be a 2 weeks, 3 weeks uh, uh, tutoring. And after that, you guys will, because in Liberia we don't write IELTS, because IELTS is a British exam. So you go to Sierra Leone, which is a British colony. So during our time, we're preparing to go to Sierra Leone to go write the exam when they told us, hey, we have to do Duolingo. So that was the difference. Duolingo is done online, but Duolingo is very strict when it comes to, because it's done online and they're trying to maintain integrity. Is it can be very uncomfortable to write Duolingo when you're
Mm,
writing and you're facing the camera. You cannot even turn your head. You cannot get up. You cannot speak to anybody.
mm.
Anybody enters the room whilst you are writing your English test, you are disqualified. That's how Duolingo is.
Wow.
Yes.
That's strict.
So people say Duolingo is easier than IELTS. I say no, because with Duolingo, because it's an online test based, the system the system scans your entire environment. Even scans the
Mhm.
laptop you're working on. Anything that's open is closed. They monitor you from beginning to end. You don't go. You don't leave the laptop. You don't turn your head. There's a box that you face. Your head should and fit within the box at all times.
Mm.
Don't turn your head. That's how rigorous Duolingo was. So for those of you who's going to do ELT, I'm going to say to you it's easy, because I've written TOEFL before when I was in Ghana. I was I did TOEFL on my own. I wanted to attempt a school in the US, and my requirement was to do TOEFL. So I've written TOEFL before, so I know what it means. Some of you who already have English test and it's very current, you could use it. So if you have English test score already, which is current, you will not have to write the English test, and it meets the requirement. You will not have to write. So
Mm.
that's one thing you need to know. If you have a current English test score which is valid, You won't have to write the English test. You can just present that one, and it's going to be accepted. But if it's older than 2 years, no, you have to write. So uh, then there's a caveat here. So because the scholarship is fully funded and a lot of resources go into everything they do, the English test score is very important to them, and it's as important to them as the schools you are going to be selecting. Every school has its own English test score requirement. You have to note that. So there's in the guidelines, you are going to be applying to three schools. That's at the third stage. You're going to be given option to apply to three schools of your choice within the the, the Irish context, within Ireland. Now, out of those three schools, you're going to rank them based on priority. You can it doesn't matter how you list them. The order of priority are going to be the order in which you are selected. Now, every school is going to have its own English language requirement. Listen to me carefully. Now, what makes the process very independent is the scholarship, the embassy and the scholarship folks do not have control over the schools. So you need to listen very carefully. They have no control over the schools. What the
Mm.
schools want, the English language scores the school require, whether the school accept you or deny you, they have no part to play in it. So you have to give a test score that the school and your course is going to require. Are we clear? So, so what happened was during our time, uh, we're, we're 11 and one person dropped. And why did the person drop? The person dropped because she was awarded the scholarship. That's how interesting this scholarship is. She was awarded the scholarship, but then the schools she had chosen, all of the schools rejected her.
You're
So
joking.
I'm serious. So it means
Damn.
you can also be awarded the scholarship and still not make it.
Mm. Wow.
Once the school you're applying to denies you or does not give you admission, you cannot win the scholarship. The scholarship is going to be taken from you.
Mm.
So getting the scholarship is as important as getting admission into those schools you are applying for. So this is what you do. Another tip for me during my time, I was in school on these things. So what I was looking for was I was using ranking. You know how we do it? We do the ranking thing. You go for the best school in Ireland, the best school in Europe. And if you do
Mm.
the ranking thing, honestly, most of the best schools have higher requirements.
Yes.
And if they do have higher requirements, it means a lot of people are going to apply to them. And the rejection rate is very high for those big schools. That's what I'm going to tell you. The rejection rate, every school has its rejection rate and acceptance rate. So as you are looking for schools to apply to, please look at their acceptance rate. Every school will have their acceptance rate on their website. They will tell you the rate at which they accept students. The acceptance rate is very important. So I'm not going to say, hey, don't look for the best schools, but
Mhm.
you have to know what you are looking for. You are gambling. You are gambling an opportunity because
Let me chip in something there, Marcus.
yeah, yeah,
Again, this is a very common scholarship advice that Marcus is given. If you go for the ranking, nobody's saying you should limit yourself to
yeah,
um there's every uni is good. I've seen people go to Harvard and not get a job after, and I've
yeah,
seen people go to the lowest ranking school and gotten a great job. What we're trying to say is make it easier for you to get accepted into at least a university. And the thing is, if a university is high ranked, it does not necessarily mean they're good for your course or the program you want to do. Some universities are good in a specific program. They might not be on your overall ranking, but they're good for specific programs that you want to do. So I think if anything, you should more or less look at which university is good for the program that you're going to do, and then get at least three or four in the top third and then middle third. that will give you a wider or variety, and also a good opportunity of you getting admission, because like Marcus had just said, getting the scholarship and not being accepted in the university after all the work, normally it's difficult to get the scholarship after you've secured your admission. So
Yeah.
this is a rare one that I've just
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
um so yeah, actually, Marcus, let me use this opportunity to welcome some of our guests that I can see. Mamiekia Mary, thank you very much for joining. Margaret, thank you. I'll read your questions soon. Emmanuel, thank you for joining. Isaac, David, I see you all. Thank you very much for joining and contributing. Echo, I see you. Yeah, so this is a video, so I can only read the names from the comments. So yeah, if I've not mentioned your name, it's I'm not ignoring you. It's because I'm only reading those that I can see from the comments. So yes, Marcus, continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to get my phone on charge. My battery's running down. Okay, so Ifya has just done a great job. Ifya, I can't thank you enough for stressing that. That was some of the things now that's the only deviation away from normal scholarships that you know. So I've applied for Chevening before. I know
Mm,
you have to get a school, you have to get admission before you get.
before you get, yeah, you apply for the scholarship.
Yeah. But with Irish Aid, it's different. All right. That's the difference. Okay.
Mm,
But before you get to that stage where where you are given an opportunity to apply for your three best schools, interestingly, out of the three best schools, only two is going to be used. That's interesting, right? So I'm breaking it down now. Out of the three schools, you're only going to be given the choice to select only two.
okay.
Yeah. So out of the two, you are going to go with your priority. That's why they ask you to rank the schools in order of priority. So the number one you put on the list is, so if you apply to three schools, in fact, you're not going to apply to three schools. Those three schools are just going to be on the list. You're only going to apply to two.
Mm,
Now, if you apply to those two schools and your first choice reject you, and the second choice accepts you, or let's look at it from another scenario. Both you are accepted in both. You are going to go with the first choice. The scholarship requirement is you are going to take the first choice. So if you say, yes, I have got scholarship, I've got both, but I like the second one. No,
mm,
you're not going to take the second one. You're going to take the first one. That's why I'm stressing. The order of priority is very important. You're only going to go for the second choice if the first choice rejects you. If the first choice rejects you, you only have one more
okay.
choice. That's the second choice. And if the second choice rejects you, you don't have any third. So the three you have on the list, only two you are going to be using. So don't get comfortable with, I have three choices. If the first one denies me, the second one, the third one, no, you only have two. The third one is just there on the list.
Mm,
Please, please, as as if you rightly
we're-
said, all of the
right.
schools.
Okay, Marcus. I think this is an important one. So let's take our time. So how many choices of schools I to?
From the first stage, you have three. In the second stage, you are
Three.
going to repeat those three. Yes, but
Okay.
out of the three going forward, after you've passed the English test,
Mm,
after you because after you've passed the English test, you are going to be required now to apply. You see, the first two stages, you only wrote down the school's name that you are interested in attending.
right.
Are you there? Now, in the third
Yes, I'm
stage,
with you
where
now.
that's after you have written, that's where you have written your English test score, you have passed, you have gone for interview, then you'll be requested now to apply to two schools from that list out of the three. Are you there?
Okay.
Are we okay? Now you are
Yes.
going to
Yes,
apply to
I'm here.
those two schools.
Yes.
Yeah. And out of the two, whichever one accepts you first is the one you are going to go for. So you are going to go in the order in which you place the schools. That's it. If you apply to two and the two accepted you, the scholarship is going to give you the opportunity to go for the first choice. If the first choice didn't rejects you, you're going to go with the second one, and that's the end. And if both schools reject you, you lose the scholarship, no matter where you were in the scholarship. So again, all schools within Europe, all schools within that territory, all schools within Europe are best. They have high, they are regarded highly. They meet all international standards. They meet all international higher education requirements. They produce some of the best people in the world. So don't worry about ranking. But if you like me, who likes excuse me, who's very keen about ranking, fine. But you should know what you're depending on. If you're going with ranking can be very dangerous. So what I noticed as an advice from my past is ranking dropped a lot of people. Most of those big schools have high rejection rate. So that was how come a lot of people lost the scholarship. So I would advise you, if you still like your ranking, go
Wow.
for it. Know what you want. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I'll just chip in this because sometimes events we give advice, but it doesn't mean you have to. It's like it's not 100% that you have to
Yeah.
listen to it, but we give.
Yeah. Hello. If you've gone offline. Hello.
You this advice from what we've learned, what we would say, just to give you an opportunity to at least get into.
Yeah. So that's for the test stage. So once you are so what I'm going to say to you is I'm just going it's just a way of re-emphasizing how important the that stage is, the stage 3. So stage 3 is, by the time you get to stage 3, it means you have passed the English test, you have met the English test score requirement, you have been invited for an interview. Now, an interview is another stage. Interview is another stage that fails people. Interview is another stage that fails people. So you could make it through all the stages, and then interview, you could go for an interview, and then you miss it out. You miss out. So interviews. Let me talk about interviews. So the whole idea behind interview is, all along, you've been sending them documentations. You've been sending them this and that. You've been sending them, this is what you are. This is what you know. This is what you are. This is what you know. This is what you can do. This is what you've been doing. Now, all this information has been sent to them through what? Just in the form of documentation. Now it is time to come and sit before the panel and tell them who you really are. Are we there? This is the opportunity given
Yes.
now to come and express yourself. All the documentation you've been reading about me. This is me. This is who I am. This is my aspiration. This is what I want. This is what my passion is. This is what my dreams align with. So at that stage, I can't say much about the interview because everyone might get different interview questions. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so interview is a little bit of is you can go into detail, but just be prepared for interviews. And you are just going to tell them what you have been presenting to them on paper. You are just going to tell them this is who you are. This is what they've been reading about you. This is who you are. So you're just going to re-emphasize all the things you've been writing. That's all you're going to do. So based on the questions they're going to ask you, be confident. Once you're the one, what I can tell you is, if you were the one who wrote your essays, it should not be difficult to answer questions.
Again, let me stop you there. This is why we say do not lie in your essays.
Yeah.
It's very important. because there's different stages. Chances are some of these people reading, they're not stupid. They can tell when people are exaggerating. I think I made a post about the don'ts of writing essays. Do not exaggerate or lie. They know they can if me reading some of these SOPs, I'm like, okay, this might be true, but it's a little bit exaggerated, or it could turn out to be a blatant lie. So the
Yeah.
thing is, they know if like I'm saying, I'm not on the board. I don't sit on the board, and sometimes I raise my eyebrows when I'm reading some of this. I was like, yeah, right. If I can, if I can, pick it out. Chances are they know. Do not lie. Say what you've done in plain terms. The thing is, they're not there to cut you out. So do not lie, do not exaggerate. Be passionate about it, yes, but be mindful of the tone and the language that you're using, because at times this is what could make it sound like a lie or an exaggeration. Be honest, because if they don't cut you out on the essay itself, they would cut you out during the interview, especially because if you've done something and it is you that have done it, you wouldn't you would know the ins and out of it. You would not
Exactly.
hesitate to want to share it. So yeah, you could go as far as the interview and then be caught out, and that's not what you want to do. And the last thing you want is to be blacklisted on the portal, because yeah, chances are they'll put you on the list and look out for you. So do not do it. Yeah, I'm very happy you've said you said this. So if you're listening, do pay attention. I think someone has asked a question. Some of these questions have been answered on the post that I've made. However, we'll still read it. I think after your interview submission, Marcus, then we would read some of the comments and try and answer the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yes, thanks for stressing that. So that is another point where a lot of people are found wanting. You will be found wanting. Honestly, if you sat down, like I just like to see it that way. If you sat down and wrote your own essay, there should be no question thrown at you
Mm,
that you wouldn't be able to answer, no matter the way they throw the question. So that was the advantage I had. You know, a lot of people are going to outsource their essays. That's what a lot of people are going to do because they're so desperate for the scholarship.
mhm,
They are going to outsource their essays. I would advise you, if you have that intention, please don't. But even if you decide to do that, make sure you read through it in and out, and put yourself within the essay. All right, because you want to be the one conveying the message as if you're the one who wrote it, right? So I will encourage you to write your own essays because the
mhm.
panel are professionals. And the good part about the scholarship is the panel is on the panel. I don't know how it's going to be for other countries, but the panel has the representation of the Irish embassy and few locals from
Okay.
within the country. Now, most of the decisions there are going to be made from the Irish point of view. All right, because it's possible. I mean, your own people could be a little soft spotted towards you.
Mm,
So what they do is they give them the opportunity to be on the panel to domesticate the question to make it more relatable. But at the end of the day, the decision is going to be made from the embassy point of view. All right. So you don't want to go in there and be thinking, maybe I got somebody on the panel, or I got I got my fellow who on the panel that's going to consider me. Nobody's going to consider you. All right. The essay is going to go through an entire group of team. They're going to scrutinize the essays. They're going to scrutinize your interview questions, your interview answers. They're going to compare it to what you have on your paper. All right. So please try to write your essays and try to write good English. You don't have to use big words. And this thing gets me confused. Every time I talk about the English language, people just think it's about writing big words. No,
mhm,
English language is not about writing big words or using big vocabs, right? English language is about expressing your thoughts clearly, simply and clearly. Write your thoughts as simple as you can and as clearly as you can, and be emphatic. Be emphatic about what you say, be expressive about what you say, and be intentional about what you write. All right. And these are the qualities that are going to get them to listen to you when you start to
Mhm.
speak. So please again, please again, write your essays. I think Ifya has some tips on writing good essays. I think you guys should just get to her. That part is very important. Writing good essays,
Mhm.
not writing big words. Don't confuse writing good essays with using big vocabs. You are not going to impress anybody on the panel, right? Even if you go for interview, you're not going to impress anybody on the panel, right? So please do express yourself clearly, simply. Avoid too much big terms, and that's the way to go. That's my little advice for you. I have
With
been there.
essays, yeah, with essays, whoever is reading it, all you need to do is, as Marcus has clearly said, I just keep laughing because of how you keep stressing about it. There was an essay that I was reading, right? I had to get a dictionary next to it. They don't have time because some of these, and the funny
Oh,
thing is, some of these words, it was a word, but it didn't fit what the person was trying to say, and I kind of ended up giving up reading. Couldn't read to the end because, one, it was taking too much time, and two, I lost the flow. So with your essays, right, your reader should be able to follow what it is that you're saying. You just need to catch their attention and keep it on your essay, not every now and again trying to. Okay, let's just say my vocab is very limited, but the thing is, big words won't take you anywhere because you're not trying to impress them with your words. You're actually trying to impress them with what you've done. You're trying to impress them with the struggles and the opportunities you've either made or you've even given to others. How useful you are to your community. That's what they want to know. Not the big English that you're reading. So simple, clear, understandable for whoever that is reading it to understand the point you're trying to make. And also proofread and proofread. Get at least three people. One, if you're close to a professor or lecturer, get them to read it, because then they will give you, like, from that higher level sort of advice, and then get someone who is very critical. We all have that one friend who is very critical about us. They will tell us the hard truth. Get one of them to read it, and then get one that is a neutral person as well. So these three would be that's my advice. I'm not saying you should take it, but that is the little that I can say when it comes to proofreading. At least three people. You don't need too many people, but you need that one person that will give you, like, the hard truth for you. Yeah, because it would go a long way to help you out. So yeah, thanks, Mark. Because let me use this opportunity to read a few of the comments that we have, and also some of the questions, so we can answer it. I'm trying not to use my laptop too much because I don't know, it's playing up. I realized that I was stuck on the screen um for a while. So I'm gonna try and read some of the comment from here. But I think there are a lot of people following. Yeah, so about the Duolingo thing, I think Akuya has written it as well, and she's saying that you're right with the Duolingo. And it reminded me of when I was doing an online test during COVID. You could not even move your head because it's like you just have to sit at one place, very uncomfortable. I've not done Duolingo though, but yeah, that online test is, yeah, you just need to sit at one place, because if not, it looks like you're cheating, like you're moving your head to go and ask someone a question or cheat. So yeah, it is online stuff. So I guess question about the terms and conditions is too long for us to talk about in this conversation. I've put links in there, and if you go on my page, I've made a few posts recently on this particular fellowship that you can have a look, and then look at the countries, that the eligible countries, And I've put a link in the comment section to take you straight to the general overview of the fellowship, and also the terms and conditions are also there. How do you apply to the scholarship? Again, check the link. It will take you straight to the page, and I'm answering some of these for you, Marcus, because
Yeah.
they're very general that I've got it on my page already. So yeah, go on my page, you'll see the link, or even the comment section. That these links will take you straight to the page of the website. And like Marcus said, it's every country is different. So Marcus is sharing his journey through the Liberia route, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you download it. I've got the PDF. I'll try and make another. It's a big PDF because I think it covers all the countries. So I would advise you to go on the page, download the PDF, and read it. The guide. All your questions would be answered there, and they have frequently asked questions at the back of the page or somewhere in that page. That's where I last left off when I was reading it. I'm not looking for a scholarship, and I'm reading it. If you're looking for a scholarship, the least thing you can do is read it.
Yeah.
And then if you have a specific question, this is where you come with your specific question. Some of these general questions is very broad, so be specific about it, so that we'll be able to help you tailor your questions properly. Echo says, awesome, glad. Yes, Ghana is included, Echo. Take advantage. Or the students that you have, get them to have a look. How does one apply? I think I've answered that. Okay, I see universities like University College Dublin have application only open for 2024 starting program. When are they opening for 2025? Do you have an answer to this, Marcus? I have an answer, but it's just because it's a general one that I'm going to give to you. Do you know a lot about University College Dublin?
Yeah, University College Dublin. So at it every university, they have different intake periods. So those questions, those sort of questions will be specific with university. So what happens is, as at now, some universities are not taking, they are not admitting people anymore until September. So you have to look. Every school is different. So you have to go on the school you are interested in. Go on their website. Everything you need to know about any schools. That's the advantage of this. The schools in Europe. Everything you need to know about the schools are on their website. Just please take your time, read. All you have to do is keep reading and keep finding information. That was all I had to do, right? So for my school, like my school does two intakes in a year. They do January and they do September, right? So it depends. It differs from school to school. Some school do 3 times in a year. It depends. Like
Yeah.
Galway does sometimes 3 times in a year, right? So it all depends on the school. The school you are interested in, take time, read about them. Everything you need to know about them is going to be written on their website in black and white. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yes. So what I meant by it's a general one is again is January intake and September intake, like you said, the autumn and on the
Yeah.
so if it is going to be three is spring,
Yes.
the
Spring,
fall,
the fall,
and
and
yeah, and autumn. So that
autumn.
these three seasons are normally when the intakes are. So again, if you're very particular about a certain school, go on the website and look at the dates for the intake.
Yeah.
It hardly or barely change.
Yeah. It does.
So
Yeah.
whenever I'm taking people through the whole route of the whole scholarship application, I sort of give them um, a guideline on the dates, and it's either you want to apply to a fall intake, which normally starts September. So say if you wanted to be in school in 2024 fall September intake, you should have made your application by now, because now
But
Mhm.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I
because
wanted to.
now the application is going to be close for the next intake, which is the next year. This is so it gives people time to get the admission letter, to go through the visa processes, the interview, and so on and so forth. So if you're looking to go to school next year, you should start your planning now, because um, most of the universities are updating their websites for next year's intake. Just like this scholarship is now open for next year's intake. So keep looking. Some of the universities might update early, others later, but that's it from me. Yes, Marcus.
Yeah. So let me add to what you just said. So specific to the scholarship, right?
Hmm.
You are not applying for any school now, so nobody should be thinking about
The
schools
schools.
application at this point of the scholarship. In the scholarship, nobody is required to apply to any school. All your application for school is going to be next year.
Hmm.
All your application is going to be next year towards um towards around the not even January. It's going to go around the fall. I think so. Yeah.
Hmm.
So by August, May, June, August is where you're going to start your school application, and at the end of the day, you're going to end up in September.
Hmm.
So you're going to go for September intake. All Irish aids, all Irish scholarship students are go for September intake. So no need. There's no guessing. There is no when am I going to be. No. Once you make it through the stages and you made it through stage 3, then you're going to be given opportunity to do your application, and your application is going to fall within September intake
Hmm.
of next year. So there's no need to worry about that. Just make sure you go through the various stages. That's what you should be worried about. All right.
And this is what makes this scholarship or fellowship very unique. The fact that
Yeah.
you can apply to it before you even apply for your universities. There's not a lot of scholarships or
No.
funding
Yeah.
or fellowships out there like that. You need to have
Yeah.
had your
Your
acceptance or admission
yeah.
letters in schools before you can apply for the scholarship. But this is
Yeah.
not like that. So it makes this one quite a unique one.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I would advise you to take advantage of it. Start reading about it at least to know, first of all, your eligibility criteria. Do you meet it? Is it happening in your country? Look
Country.
at these very few things that meet the eligibility criteria first, and then worry about everything else as you proceed
Yeah.
with the whole process. So follow the process. Sometimes I think people try to jump phases, and then that's when you become frustrated. You're not
Yeah.
following the process. You're trying to jump from A to Z, then Z to D, then D back to. You will drain you. It will drain you, and then you end up draining the likes of me that is just trying to help because you try bringing your frustration on us. Um, Kindly assist by sharing the guide. So it is a big guide. It's like I'm saying, I'll download it. I'll try and make a post about it. If LinkedIn allows me to upload it, I will upload it. But it is a big guide. However, I've shared the link to the website. So click on the link. The guide is underneath it, if I
Guide
can
is
remember correctly.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
says
The
it.
guide
It
is
says it.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
can download it. Glad you're back, if yeah, thank you. My yeah, technical issues from yesterday and today. Thank you. What are I've answered that. The terms and condition. How does one apply? It's already been answered. Okay, so sorry I joined late. Is it for both undergraduate and graduate programs? Marcus, I'll let you answer this one.
Yeah. So I mean, they I don't know, but it's written there in the guide. The minimum requirement is you should have an undergrad degree. So that means you are done with college, right? If I should put it that way, for those who will not understand, you should have a degree. Minimum requirement is you should have a degree. You should have been done with undergrad, not
Mm-hmm.
currently on in not currently doing undergrad. But even if you're currently pursuing, but you are about to graduate, you can use attestation, right? I think most schools gave attestations, right? Yes.
Mhm.
Once you know you're going to graduate this year, you are eligible. So for those who are worried about yeah, I'm currently about to graduate, finish complete my undergrad. Yes, you are eligible. Just make sure your graduation is within this year. Once your graduation is within this year, and you can get attestation from the school to say, hey, you are graduating somewhere this year, you can get attestation that the scholarship is going to take it. They will take it. So it means by the time you go through the second stage and the third stage, where you have to present those documents, those physical documents, then you should have be able to work your way out to get your degree from the school. Or if the degree is not ready at the time, you should be able to produce some sort of legal document from the school telling them that, hey, the degree is in process. No problem, they will accept it. The scholarship is flexible to that level. I can tell you for a fact. During our time, even when we're presenting documents, there were people who had completed college, but they never had their degree, their physical copies with them. They only knew that they had degrees. So they had to get attestations, and the
Mm.
scholarship accepted it. But at the end of the day, you will have to present your actual degree.
Right. So
I don't
yeah,
know.
like yeah. So I think the person is asking if it is, if so, it is to cover a graduate degree. It's not
Yeah, it's to cover
to
an
cover,
actual degree. Yeah,
yeah, an undergraduate degree. So you should have your
and
undergrad. So it's for
you
graduate
have an yeah,
degrees. Yeah.
yeah.
Again, if you read the website, it will tell you this.
Everything is there.
So
Everything is there.
I'm basically looking at my own comment, and then it is the very top of the comment is the link that has brought me to the website, and it tells you about a lot of the things that this thing, the what it covers. Some of the countries they've got their own page. So if you're for Burundi, Nigeria, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, um Guinea-Bissau, Seychelles, Mauritius. So every country or some of these countries have got specific links for you to know more
Exactly.
about it,
Yes.
because like Marcus
More
said,
about it.
most of
Yeah.
the countries are different. The requirement might be different or
Yeah.
will be different.
Different.
Have a
Yeah.
minimum of 2 or 3 years substantial work experience. That is directly
Period.
relevant to your proposed program of study, depending on the country.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think Margaret has asked this question. How about the 2 or 3 years of work experience requirement? Um, so it also, again, it's country specific. I don't know if Marcus, you needed to meet this criteria, but then that's your voluntary and your extra curriculum and these things comes in. But I'll leave Marcus to share his thoughts on
Yes.
that.
Yes. 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 So I think there are general requirements that apply to I don't that apply to every scholarship every Irish fellowship scholarship. So the work experience requirement is, I think it's general. It's a general. It's a general requirement across the board, because in my from the Liberian perspective, it was 3 years experience. Yeah, and for me, I had been working a lot longer, so for me it was easier, right? So I have had over 8 to 9 years working experience, right? So yeah, so for me, working requirement was not an issue, but yes, the work experience requirement is very important. You have to meet that requirement, and you cannot lie about it, because at the end of the day, you will have to show. You have to prove everything you say. Don't
Hmm.
Every stage of the scholarship you will have to prove, especially at the second stage. You have to bring documentation. You have to have you have to have a letter from your institution, or whatever institution you've worked with. They will have to produce a document on you. So another thing is another thing I stressed was, for my country, that you should belong to. Listed them out. The various government agencies, they listed them. The various NGOs and CSOs, they listed them. So you look on the list. If you belong to any of those, you meet the requirement. If you don't belong to any of them directly, but indirectly, maybe you work with an institution that does, that is a subsidiary, or that has a parent on that list, you are still good to go. The only thing is you have to make sure you have good rapport with HR, because at the end of the day, HR has to do a communication for you. And if HR cannot do a communication for you for steady leave, because the program is you have to take a steady leave from your working place or wherever you work. They have to give you a steady leave on an official letterhead. If you cannot get that document, it's going to give you hard time. That's why I keep stressing. Look at the list. It might vary from country to country. Look at the list specific to your country. They will list the organizations that you should be part of. I don't know how it is with Ghana, but I'm sure it's not very difficult. It's not very different. I'm sure they have government institutions or public institutions, and then they have NGOs, they have CSOs. Look at the list. I'm not sure, but that's how it is. That is how it is with Liberia. I don't know how it is with Ghana. Please, if you know anybody who has started, I mean, they can let us know.
Yeah. So someone has also asked, so with Margaret, so the thing, yes, HR. I love you with your HR. Make sure you're in good terms with your HR. So the
Yes.
way to go about your 2-3 years, right, is, correct me, Marcus, how many years would you have had to finish your undergrad before you can apply?
So the 3 years is not part of the time the time you spend doing undergrad. No, it's not part of it. The 3 year is how long you've been in the employ of an institution.
Right.
How?
So what I'm saying is, the question is, how long do you have? I think some people's issue is that in case they don't meet the criteria anymore, because you shouldn't have finished your undergrad in a certain number of years.
Yeah.
How many years?
So 2 years minimum.
2 years minimum. So
Yeah.
maybe in that 2 years you should be in work, but then you shouldn't
Yes.
have completed fully the 2 years.
Fully.
So if
Yeah.
you're in that work, so back in I think it's most African countries, you have to give back a commitment of service after your undergrad.
That's the national service, right? In Ghana, it's national service.
Yeah, the national service. So with
So
this, help me out.
It's a little different with Liberia. So let me tell you how
Okay.
it works in Liberia. Liberia has a system that is more tailored toward the West. Okay, we have a more fluid system in terms of you can work in school, you can get permanent employment whilst you are in school. In fact, most people in Liberia are in school whilst they are working.
Okay.
With Ghana, a bit different. When I was in Ghana, it was difficult to find students, to find somebody who's in uni and doing a full-time job. It was very difficult.
I think now it's becoming a thing. I know a few
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who
So if
work
you're
in
in that
school.
situation, then yours will be a little bit difficult. But then, yeah, you should have had a minimum of 2 years experience. If the 2 years experience can come from anything, it can come from internship. It can come from how you call it, the national service. National service normally 1 year, right? If you are.
I think it depends on countries as well. Some people is 6 months, some are 1 year. Yes.
But for Liberia, we don't have national service. You
Okay.
see, so we don't do national service there. So most excuse me,
Sorry.
most people got their experience from working. Working is not specific. Working can be defined as using your professional skills, using whatever skills you've obtained at the time, what to positively affect whatever environment you find yourself. So if you're doing an internship, if you did different, you can do 6 months internship. You can add them up. You can add it up. It does not have to be continuous 2 years. Just put your different little experiences together, but make sure those little experiences meet up with 2 years, with a 2 years requirement. That's what they're trying to tell you.
So yeah, Margaret, does that make sense? So this is what I was trying to say. I'm trying to share the document, but it is big. It is a big document. It's like 29 pages or so.
It is
Because
big. It
it's
is big.
covering, yeah, it is covering the various countries. So it is, you have to sort of flip through what
Yeah.
covers your country and which one is specific to
What
you.
comes to yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know when you're
yeah,
in uni, right? You could be into volunteering. You could be
yeah.
into internships. So you're in school. You're in school for 4 years. In this 4 years, like this is why I keep sharing during summer period. I keep sharing internship opportunities. See, sometimes I wish I knew this when I was younger. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
that's
played
right.
with my I wouldn't have played with my life. But anyway,
That's
that's just by the
that's
way.
right.
This is why you're in school for 4 years. Summer break tends to be the longest one, and I'm speaking for being in Europe. I don't know about African countries, but I think summer period is common
It is.
because it's
It is.
longer. This is when people travel
Yeah,
to go.
yeah.
Use your summer wisely, man. You use it wisely. Get
Uses
involved in
wise.
things, especially if you want to get into graduate school, especially if you want to look at um international opportunities. Use your summer wisely. It doesn't have to be all about getting paid. So far as you can find somebody that can give you these references. Do it, do it, do it. It does. You're not losing out. You're only investing into your future. Use your summer breaks wisely. And if your undergrad is not very intensive, because I know, like the science student, engineering student, those people might have a very intense sort of course compared to other, but everybody is different. But if you can get an extra curriculum that aligns or puts you in a good position, if you want to do postgrad or graduate school and you're looking to go international, use it wisely. But even if you didn't and now you're in your final year, it's not too late. Use your service, national service, properly as well. Build a good relationship with where you're doing it, because they will come handy. They would have to give you a reference or attest to this 2 years to 3 years that you're doing. So just be mindful. And sometimes too, right? Even the if you're in undergrad, right? It doesn't matter if you're called the teacher's pet. If you can help one way, shape, or form within your course, if you can help your lecturer in a certain way, it counts towards the work that you've done. Sometimes it means maybe helping them. I don't know if in Ghana they will allow you to mark other students' work, but anything that you can do to help the cause or your lecturer give or relay the cause properly, it all comes towards um, your experience. So make use of it. Think outside the box. Don't limit yourself. Think outside the box. If the opportunity is not there, create it. Um, I was telling one guy, I said, if whatever you're thinking, the market is not there, create it. Even if you get one or two people, these people reading your essay, they don't care if it was just one person in the community whom you've impacted. They just want to see you do it. So create it. If it's not there, create it. Do not be afraid. Create it. It shows who you are. It's like you're not afraid to make a step. You're not afraid to advocate. You're not afraid to make a change and bring a change. And this is all they want to see. So do not be afraid. If nobody would understand or come with you, do it. You just need that one person. Or even if you fail, say it in your essay that you are so passionate about so and so aligning with the SDGs. Unfortunately you didn't get the help, but this is what you did, and this is what it has made you learn, and this is why you want to then do this graduate program in order to have more ideas on the knowledge to be able to implement it after. Or don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Go for it. I think I'm getting emotional with my motivational speech. So yeah, let's get back to it. Nah, I get very passionate when it comes to
That's
telling people
that's
to do it, because I wish,
that's
this is what I needed when in during
yeah.
that time, and now I
No,
just want to encourage those out there. Don't be afraid, man. Don't wait for somebody to encourage you. Go for it. So first you believe
go
in
for
it,
it.
go for it. It's all for your future. Don't regret it like I am doing now. So yeah.
Go for
I'll
it.
send the link soon. Yeah, continue. I think Margaret says she's got it. So I think we've done well with that explanation.
Yeah. So
One more question. Sorry, but someone is
yeah,
saying, is the university application paid for?
everything is taken care of. I'm
There you
saying
go.
to you, everything is taken care of. Listen, the university, the scholarship is going to give you is going to give you a note, and when you're applying to the universities, you are going to attach the note telling
Mm,
them you are applying as a scholarship student, and whatever fee or payment that they're supposed to do is going to be redirected to the scholarship. They're going to take care of it. If you were to apply to a school and the school requests application fee, all you have to do is get back to the scholarship and they'll pay for it and they'll get to the school. I'm telling you, everything is. I'm repeating again. When I say fully funded, it's fully funded. Where now, this is the catch. Where the scholarship cannot pay the money on time to get your application through, and you pay out of your pocket, you are going to be refunded. Did you hear me? Whatever resource, whatever money you spend out of your pocket for this scholarship, you are going to get your money back.
Isaac, I hope this has answered your question. So again, just to reiterate to this is one of the best fellowship that I've come across so far. Trust me. It's a great one. It's very good.
Yeah,
So yeah, it will get refunded, or it will be paid for in short.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah,
Um yeah, so I think the final stages, take us through the final stages, and then we can, I think
yeah.
we're
So
closing up to 2 hours of this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Um, I wanted to add to before I close up. I wanted to add to what you said about getting experience. So I wanted to share something. One of my personal experience that I had when I was growing up back in Ghana. After I completed after I did my my higher education, because I did with NIT. I did my diploma in computer science. So what I did was I went for an internship. Now internship counts. So I went for an unpaid internship. I was with Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Specifically, I was assigned to Obonu FM, the one in Tema. I worked there for 1 good year without pay. So people, because I knew there was a day was going to come, I was going to need that experience. I
Hmm.
was going to need to be able to reference that experience somewhere. So, as if you has rightly said, take advantage of opportunities. Don't wait for, I have to finish college, I have to finish my degree, then I go and look for a job before I get job experience. No, take advantage of those, you know, summer holidays, those short holidays, those short vacations. Take advantage of it. Apply. Go to institutions. Ask them, can I do internship with you guys? Even if you guys don't pay me, I'm okay. I just want to be coming. Those things can help you. All right. So I just wanted to restate. So the final stage of the scholarship is where all the goodies coming. That's the one everybody gets to see. The hard work behind the scenes, the frustrations, the overnight study. You have to study a lot. I have never seen scholarship where you have to study, but this particular scholarship you have to study. You have to study. Have to study because everything is involved. You have to go and write a test. You have to pass. I think the minimum requirement is for Duolingo during our time it was It was 110. You had to produce a 110 score. 110 is the
Okay.
minimum. If you convert 110 to IELTS, it's 6.0. Now, most colleges in Europe, in Ireland specifically, are going to ask for 6.0 or 6.5
Mm.
as English score. Anything less than that, first of all, anything less than that, you will not you will not go for you will not go for interview. You will not be called for interview. That's the first thing.
Right.
Pass the English. If you don't meet that requirement, you cannot be called for interview. It means you failed that stage. So all your entire goal should be to make above 110 or 6.0 and upwards for any schools that you are going to be applying to. And even with that, every school will have their own requirement. Some science courses go for 6.5. Some science courses go for 7, as high as 7.
Hmm.
My school was asking for 6.5. So imagine. So whilst you are getting excited about the fully funded thing, and all the goodies that come with it, put in your best. Give it your
It,
all.
it takes work.
Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work. You need to put aside anything that's going to distract you. You need to take this time to start doing sample English test. There are a lot of with else. There are a lot of sample questions online. You just need to go to else website. They will give you an entire curriculum.
Hmm.
You just have to study it, and everything is there. All those questions they are likely to ask you are going to be there. Just study it. With Duolingo, the same thing. That was what I did. I didn't go for any extra class with Duolingo. I went online, I took videos, I took notes, and that was how I made it. So at the end of the day, after the interview, it's going to take maybe about, because those who are applying now, they are going to leave next year around August, because schools open in September. So those who are applying now, all of you who are listening to me, those of you who are applying, if you make it through, you are going to be leaving from the shores by next year, August, September, because that's when schools open. So
Mm.
at that stage, you are going to get all your perks. How do we call it? Perks, right? Should I call it perks? Yeah. So at that stage, you're going to get all your perks. So the perks involves you're going to get a gift card. The first thing is you're going to get a gift card. Now the gift card is going to have only 1,000 clean money, euros, for you to spend when you get here.
Clean money.
Shopping, clean. I mean, clean money. Stop. Get here, the gift card, because normally when you get here, the reason I'm going to give you a gift card is because you don't have a bank account, you don't have any bank details. So the gift card is for you to be able to buy stuff immediately that you're going to use for wherever you live in, where you're
Wow.
staying, utensils, you need to get food, you need to get clothing, you need to get
Mm.
bed stuff. So yes, so you're going to get one clean 1,000 euro, and then you're going to get 700 every month for stipend. Now I can tell anybody, I hate to say this, but that's the truth. The work I was doing, my 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 stipend pays me more than the work I did back home. Imagine that.
Wow.
That's how horrible Africa is. As qualified and educated as I am, imagine, and as experienced as I was, as I am, they don't pay you for your labor. They just underpay people, especially with technology. Technology in Africa is so horrifying. They just give you, and you get your stipend is regular, is on time, it does not delay.
Mm.
And if you live within your means, I can assure you,
It
you
should be
would you
okay.
will be more than okay. If you,
Mm.
in fact, if you, I should tell you, you should be more than okay. I Currently I am more than okay. In fact, I'm even able to save. I'm able to
That's
send
good.
money. I'm able to do a lot of things. I'm even able to travel. In fact, over the vacation, I've gone to almost how many countries? I
You
was in
went
I
to
was
London so,
I was in London just the
recently,
other,
yeah.
from the same money.
Mm.
I'm about to go. I'm about to go for a short visit to Netherlands.
Okay.
Like it's like that. Like once you live well, once you live on, just keep your life simple. You can manage with one with 700. Now another interesting thing is within Europe, most of the accommodations, because when you come, you're going to be in student accommodation. Student
Mm.
accommodation, your rent is going to be paid for you full.
Wow.
You're not going to worry about rent, where to sleep. Everything is going to be taken care of. In fact, before you come, your accommodation is already waiting for you. It has already been booked and signed in for you.
I tell you, this is really one of the best. One
I'm
it,
telling
it
you,
is. I'm actually very surprised that yeah,
seriously.
it's
You know the way scholarship students struggle to get place to lay
yes,
their
yes.
place to sleep. Hardest
And
thing to do
sometimes
is
too, it's so expensive. The stipends
yeah,
don't even match up to the living standards, so you end up
exactly.
having to work extra to just to pay or keep body and soul together.
Exactly. But
Mm.
with this scholarship, in fact, I sometimes I like to be a little bit magnanimous, should I say, or I like to just blow their horns a little. This is the only scholarship that I know that takes pay for a student accommodation that is very expensive. They put you in the best student accommodation possible that they can find.
Wow.
I was living in the student accommodation that I had to pay 300 every week. They were paying for it 300 euros every week. That was what they were paying for
Wow.
me.
A week.
A week, a
Wow.
week.
Just get my
So
calculator.
every so what happens is accommodations have they have this thing they call contract. So the
That's
contract runs from
1,200 euros a month.
yeah, that's
Wow.
it. They pay
That
they
is an
pay they pay
expensive. That is an expensive accommodation.
yes. So so depending on which part of the city you are. So the stipend is paid according to where you are
Yeah.
located. So those of us who are in the city, we get more stipend because we are in the
Because
city.
it has to match the standard of living
Yeah.
and the cost of
And
living.
those
Yeah.
outside of the city, they get a little less, but they get a little less. Okay. So for those of us in Dublin, we're giving no, but the stipend across the board is the same, whether you are
Mm.
in or out. What differs is is accommodation fees, because you are when you come in, you are allowed to stay in a student accommodation for 8 months. After 8 months, you have to leave the accommodation and find your own accommodation.
Oh,
So
okay.
but then again, the scholarship gives you money. They fund it. All you have to do is find a place
Find a
wherever
place.
you. So this is how they do it. They don't tell you what and how much place to find. They tell you how much they're going to give you for rent. So you have to decide where to find. So they give you. So for me, for those of us in Dublin, we're giving 1,000 for rent. All of us are giving 1,000 euros for rent aside your stipend. It's different
Mm.
from your stipend. Okay, so you are giving 1,000 for rent every month. Now, depending on where you find, if you find a place 1,000, that's up to you. If you find somewhere, if you want to live a very simple life, you find somewhere very easy, that's up to you. So it depends. But they are going to make sure they're going to give you that money for you to be able to take care of your rent for the rest of the time you are here to complete your studies. So
Mm.
at no point in time, you are going to be stranded. At no point in time, you are
Wow.
going to be stranded in the scholarship.
This is great. This is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So those are the perks. And I don't like to say about the traveling opportunities. Ireland, Ireland, Ireland. Let me add this one to boost. Ireland is the country, is the third most, has the third most powerful passport in the world. If you get here and you have a student permit, getting visas to other countries to travel is very easy. In fact, in Africa, you get so much denials that you feel that these countries are impossible to go.
Mm.
I came and I did my London visa. I never attended an interview for London. I never attended an interview. I only said I wanted to go for a vacation. I sent in my passport, and before I knew it, my visa was ready and I was called for it. I never attended
Wow.
an interview. I never attended an interview. It's like that with other countries.
Mm.
You go for visa, and it's so easy to get, and you don't get no stress. Like the way they do us in Africa, they just deny you for no reason. And there are a lot of other opportunities that you have. You get to
Yeah.
experience other countries, you get to travel, you get to see the world. You get to move about. You get to make friends. You need to network. Another thing is people need to network, because you have 8 months to be in your student accommodation. After that 8 months, you have to find your own place. So it means you have to reintegrate into the society, into the Irish society. Now, that is left to you. The scholarship is not going to find a place for you. You have to find your own place. You are going to be giving your rent, but you have to find your own place. So that is where you have to network. And one of the problems we have in Ireland is housing. So if you come and you don't network, and you just stick within your own corner, and you just go to school, from school back home, you are going to be doing yourself a disfavor, because at the end of the 8th month, where you have to go and find your own accommodation within the Irish society, you are going to struggle. To find accommodation is not easy. And I think for those of you who are going to come after us, I think some of you are very lucky, because right now the Irish society has improved upon their housing. They have built more housing now. There is more
Mm.
housing being constructed. So I think the struggle we went through to find accommodation was not easy for us.
Mm.
We have money, but to find accommodation was difficult. Can you imagine that? So all those stress is being embraced, is erasing away, is going away a little by little. They are putting up more structures. So some of you may not face the kind of hurdles or the kind of struggles we had to go through. But then again, network. There are some things I cannot say online, because other people are listening. But you have to network. You have to network. Network is very important. Get to know people, move, interact with people, make friends. Don't stick within your own low,
Mm.
with colony. We like to do colony. When Africans travel, they like to do colony. You know, open up, get into the society, migrate, feel at home. All right,
Mm.
and then you should be good to go. Right.
Sure.
A lot of other perks are there, but I can't say all those ones here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
that's
yeah, for those that want to know more, we've gone way over time. So
yeah.
yeah, if you want to know more, kindly get in contact with Marcus, and I know he's open to help everybody, or anybody that is interested to know more. And so yeah, and I think you help other people anyway in a I've forgotten your, what's it called, the group that you're in. Is it
Yeah.
the
My
organization?
ISC square. Yeah. ISC two.
Yes. Yeah. So he shares a lot of his experience with the people there. So go in contact with him. I know he's ever ready to share and help with his experience. So we've gone past time. You can rewatch this episode again if there's anything that you missed. You can rewatch it on our YouTube page. I'll put the link in the comment section so that you can rewatch it. And I think you should be able to watch it again via my page, because it will be on my LinkedIn page. If you go on the events bit, it should be on there because I can still see some of our old events on there. And again, we do this once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on the topic at hand. So yeah, if you've not connected with us, connect with each other in the um, comments as well. And thank you all for joining. I can still see people online even after almost 2 hours. So thank you very much for your time. Really do appreciate it. And we do hope that you've learned and taken something out of this. I've replied to the comments again with the answers that has been given, just so that you can refer to it and other people can also refer to it. So without wasting much more time, Marcus, give us your final words so that we can wrap up. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
So I first of all want to say thank you, Ifya. I think you have a larger professional connection than I do. So I feel a little privileged to have got to some of your audience. Yeah, I should say that. Uh, I think I've benefiting from your network is going to be a good thing for me. Uh, I want to say nothing good comes easy, especially if a scholarship has to fully fund you.
Hmm.
It's not going to be easy. So you have to put it at the back of your mind. It's not going to be easy. So you have to take the instructions very carefully and seriously. All right. But it is possible. That is what I can tell you. It is not going to be easy, but it is possible. Anything is possible. I made it through. I'm not the smartest. I wasn't the smartest, but I made it through. I made it through not because I was the smartest. I made it through because I followed instructions. I took the guide, the guidance. In fact, the first thing I did with the scholarship was of all the documents I downloaded. The first document I took my time to read was the guardian's manual. If you keep saying it's bulky, but for me, I spent an entire day just reading that document back and forth. I read it back and forth and in and out because I needed to know what the instructions were and what the instructions meant. Because there is no way you can ask anybody. I have not had I never had the opportunity to talk to anybody who had been on the
Hmm.
scholarship,
Hmm.
who had gone through. So the only choice I had was to read the document. For you guys, you are very blessed and lucky that you have somebody who can tell you the pros and cons and the do's and don'ts. So I will urge you, even with all you've heard, take the guidance manual, read through it. Read through it so passionately and so thoroughly that when you are answering the questions, you're able to meet every requirement that is asked of
Hmm.
you. Yeah. So, but I also want to say thank you to Ifya for bringing me on. And
You're welcome.
this is a great opportunity. I've always looked forward to having this sort of conversation with her, and today I'm here. I feel honored. One, I feel proud. I feel privileged to have this conversation with her and her network to be able to give
Hmm.
back. This is what I want to do, to be able to give back to the community, give back to those who are looking for opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities out there. I hear a lot of Africans complaining. We want opportunities, no opportunities, there are opportunities out there. But when they get these opportunities, they look at all the requirements that go with it. They feel so tired. They feel so disheartened. Yes, I know people who get in my inbox. You'll be asking me. Imagine somebody asking me questions that they have not even read the guardians. I told the person, I say, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to answer all your questions. What you have to do for me is take your time and read the manual. After you have read the guardians, come to me with specific questions. Don't just
Specific
come with
questions.
yeah, I keep telling them, you know, read the manual, come back to me with specific questions, and I'll answer them for you. Right? So thank you for the opportunity, Ifya, and I hope we can do this again
Sure.
with any other topic, professional topic. It could be cybersecurity, it could be safety online, it could be any area, or it could be women empowerment,
Hmm.
girls in tech, girls in cybersecurity. I'm here for you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. So, a little bit with the background of Marcus is we've been in our connection, we've been in each other's connection for a while, and he happened to have come on event, audio events with me and Dr. Enoch. So he shared his idea or contributed to it, and I had it in mind to have him on one of the programs, but to be honest with you, I didn't follow up on it until this opportunity brought itself. So I feel it is good in a way that I didn't, because this is open. Obviously, it fitted. It just, I didn't have to worry. You just brought yourself, and I'm so happy. We were able to put this together in such a short period. Thank you very much. He's currently writing his thesis, and he still said no. Don't worry, I'll make it a point to come and share my ideas. And here we are, 2 hours in, and he's still here. So thank you very much. Thank you all for joining. David, I see you. Kujo, thank you. I was about to mention my name because of the comment. Mary, thank you. Margaret, thank you. Hammers, thank you. Can one get post-student work permit after studies? Concentrate on getting or passing the first stage, and then we'll move on. Most of these countries, there will be opportunities for you to apply for visas to stay. However, you need sponsorship from organizations to want to employ you to stay. But then again, I could give, or we could answer this question, and before you finish your program, it would have changed, because things change rapidly, especially when it comes to international students or immigration. Whatever somebody tells you in the next week would have changed by the time you go looking at it. This is why we keep telling people to stay informed by reading and going on official websites, because a lot of people have realized also that people do not want to read, so they're giving false information, taking people's money. People are making money out of these things that we do for free. So I would advise you, read. Even after this, right? Go on the website. It won't take anything out of you. It would actually give you more information. You have to be well informed for your own benefit, and also for the fact that you would be able to help other people. And when you come in and myself or Marcus is giving you wrong information, you've gone to verify it. We're not here to give you word for word what it entails. For me, I just have the general knowledge when I went looking for the opportunity to share to others. So the only thing you can do for yourself really is to read and research for yourself as well, and be in the known. So yeah, Michelle, thank you. Again, this is a video, so I won't be able to tell. Audios, you can tell who's online, but with live ones is different. So I can tell from who has commented one way, shape, or form. So not to be biased of the names. So yeah, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. And Marcus, again, thank you for coming on board. This is Changing the Narrative. I'm your host, Ifua. Get in contact, get in touch with myself and Marcus, and we'll be here to help you as best as we can. However, I'm going to iterate this point. Come with specific questions. Some of these general questions is not great. It just shows me that you've not read anything. And if you were to do that, it means I might as well just do the whole thing for you. But that's not what we're here to do. It is a long process. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So this is why I keep telling people, if you're looking to go into undergrad studies, say next year, this is your time. Give yourself at least a year to go through the process, because it's a marathon, and you have to enjoy. You have to learn to enjoy the process. But what you put in is what you will get out. It's not impossible. It is very possible. And the fact that Marcus has shared his journey with us, his journey will definitely be different to yours. Everybody has got a different journey. However, it is what you make of it. Learning from your mistakes, learning from the highs and the lows, and you will be able to also be able to have a platform or use your own platform to share your experiences. So thank you very much. Again, I am your humble host, Ifwa. Get in touch. Marcus, thank you once again, and thank you all for listening in. You can watch this episode again on our LinkedIn and on YouTube. Connect with us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you can get all the information from other guests on different scholarship on our YouTube page. So kindly subscribe and share with us. Without wasting much more time, thank you very much, and have a lovely evening until we meet again on the 13th of July. I have another guest where we will be talking about essays on your scholarship journey. Thank you. Have a good evening, good night, good morning.